Everybody, it's another episode of the DNVR Rapids Podcast. I'm your host, Mitchell Carroll, a.k.a. Merchel, a.k.a. Are we already doing this again?
It feels like it was just yesterday that we were together.
It was about the Rapids. 12 hours ago we were doing this.
Let's talk about the Rapids again.
Let's talk more PIDs. It is a beautiful day in Denver, Colorado. We are in Studio B. And by we, I mean I'm joined, of course, by Super Yaya.
And what does the B stand for?
Bad. AKA how that game went last night for the Rapids.
I was going to say badgering trauma.
Badgering trauma? Is that a term or did you just make it up?
I just thought of the first two words that came to my mind.
It's a good one. I like it. That's good. Also joining us, the art director for ALLCITY Network. It is, of course, downtown Duane Brown.
All I could think of was just actual bees when you said that. And how terrible that would be.
The bees! Sorry, I love Wicker Man so much. We have a lot to talk about today, guys. We're going to get into some options and free agency and all that stuff. We're going to talk mailbag questions that we're going to go over. And we're also going to preview the Loons match next week, Minnesota. So that'll be fun. Before we get into the free agency / option pickup discussion, which is actually a pretty good one. There's a lot of options to talk about. Do you have any lingering thoughts from last night? I don't know if you read any bit of the presser or listened to it because we were live. If there's anything like that you guys have left over that we didn't get to in our hour of ranting last night.
Not really. It's just the pain just sunk in and you're like, okay, it is what it is. Like, I think Fraser just kind of summed it up. He has no control over what happens to him next. And the team is bad. And he said that as much.
I'm standing by that. That's the most fired guy quote from a not fired guy. A not yet fired guy.
Hudson still wins that. Nobody's quote is worse than we're playing with a bottom group of players. Like throwing your entire
Well, I'm not talking about like the worst.
Players.
I'm not talking about worst quote from a coach. I'm just saying like that's what fired guys say.
Well,
it's like, I don't know, not my decision.
That was his quote like hours before he got fired.
Sure.
That's the gold medal still.
One thing, actually, now that you guys bring this up, there was a question thrown out yesterday where he was like, I like the standard in the second half. And I thought he said it. He's like, I like the standard in the second half. And somebody, I don't know who it was.
It was Pat Radigan.
Okay, somebody said it was like, oh, so you liked everything that happened in the second half. And I think he went on to say, I don't like how the score or the results, but I do enjoy the effort. And I will say the effort was better in the second half. And that's one thing on the rewatch, because I went back and rewatched it till 1 a.m. in the morning, that the effort was way better in the second half than the first half. And it was at least more acceptable. But yet it shouldn't be called the standard.
Do you think it was the effort or was it more the players blending into the formation change that just seemed more natural for them?
I think it goes hand in hand.
Yeah.
I think you get more effort when you're comfortable and you know what you're doing. And I think that came from that. And I think I'm not saying I take any blame from Fraser. I'm just saying I think I get what he was trying to say with the effort. That it was,
second half looked better. I mean, that's a low bar, but it did look better.
Yeah, exactly. It just better, but I still don't think he should be calling it the standard. That's the one thing that really bothered me.
That was terrible word choice. Because Pat was right. I don't know if I would have gone that in on a coach after that kind of loss. You know, Fraser can be biting in his remarks after a bad loss. But I do think it was a good question because if your standard is losing 1-0 and not even really making any threatening positions in the second half whatsoever, that's a bad standard. If that's your standard, that's a bad standard. You need to raise the standard.
His standard. I think he was talking more about the energy from the players than the.
It was only about, to me, it was only about 15 minutes of energy, and then it went back to LAFC.
I just think that's what he was
dominating,
talking about.
But even then, that's to me that's a low standard because that energy was not even like top tier energy.
No,
it was frantic. Like it was just they were panicking because they were down 3-0. It wasn't like, okay, we're focused, we're trying to get this going, we're gonna try to score. It was more like energy was better.
Sure,
but just to me,
I don't disagree with you. I'm just saying I think to put it in context, I don't think Robin was saying getting whooped last night was the standard. I think he was just saying the difference in energy between the second half and the first half is what he was commenting on. It wasn't the play itself. I think it was just the difference in energy that the players were showing.
No, I agree with you.
I don't think he's saying this is the standard, this 4-0 shellacking we got.
No. Like I completely agree with you. I'm not like I know that he was talking about the energy, but even calling that energy the standard to me was calling it anything in this game should not be the standard. That's my thing.
Agreed.
And that's my thing. It's not that I don't agree with him that the energy was not better. It's just the word choice of calling it the standard was the part that I was like, that's not correct, and you shouldn't be calling it that. And you're right, Juan. We actually discussed that last night. That there's a disconnect between the front office. Like I went off like for 30 seconds. You can't be playing this formation because you don't have the players that mesh together, and that's Porig and Fraser's fault. Porig for trying to pigeonhole players on Porig that are not going to work, and it's Fraser's fault for trying to play this formation knowing that it's not going to work for his team. It just doesn't make any sense.
Shout out Juan for putting my most unhinged take from the game last night out on Twitter from the post game when I was screaming about how the most defenders on the field equals the Rapids' worst defense, and that's just I think where we leave that. If you want to hear more about our backline talk, go ahead and check the post game from last night. There's a Yahya rant, there's a Duane rant, there's a me rant, there's another Yahya rant. It was pretty epic, actually, considering how terrible the game was. All right, let's jump into these contract talk. If you have any more questions about the game last night or our thoughts on it, whatever, go ahead and drop them in the chat. But we're going to get into this because you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. You have 10 options / free agents that you can that the Rapids can either pick up, activate, or re-sign. The first one is the only true free agent. It is Diego Rubio, 16 goals last year. Not on the field enough this year to really make an impact. Just 2 goals? 1 goal?
Yeah. No, 1 goal, and that was
1 goal, and it was a penalty.
It was the SKC goal.
Oh, then he has 2.
He has 2.
Yeah. I forgot about the penalty
as well. So he has 2 goals this year.
The Leagues Cup one?
Oh, you're right. That was Leagues Cup.
Yeah,
so 1 goal in
MLS
MLS play, 2 goals on the year.
Yeah.
It's been tough. He is a free agent. He can leave on a free. He can sign with anybody. He can go MLS. He can go to Chile. He could, you could see a Liga MX team maybe trying. He's clearly a very impactful player. Last night you saw the competence level raised dramatically in the attacking third. Which is saying something because it was a bad night for the Rapids, but to see it be that much more competent in a bad loss, right? He's clearly a floor raiser.
He's a connector. He's a connector. He's a key. He's the skeleton key. He'll open up everything for you.
So the question is, now remember, this is out of the club's control, right? Is Rubio back next year? Not okay. I guess should he be and is he? Those because I think those are 2 different questions with 2 different answers.
What do we want and what do we think will happen?
Correct.
Right. Yeah.
Yep. You can start. Go ahead.
Oh, I mean, I'm a big Diego Rubio guy, so I want him back. I want him back because it's one less player that we need to fill in at that 10 role that we need to go out and get. He's a proven commodity. When he's healthy, we know he's great. Also, we have a team full of very young people, some projects, some not projects, but a lot of youth. And I think Diego brings a sense of leadership to the pitch that you can see instantly when he's there. And Rubio does not F around. Like, we talked to him in the off season and the dude was like already like on Ollie You know, when we were
That was
watching
awesome.
when we were watching World Cup, like he was already on Ollie about talking strategy, and it's just. I think we need that mindset. We need that maturity and that leadership as a part of this club. We cannot run out a team of only super young people. So I want him here. Do I think he will be back? No.
Yeah.
I don't think he will be back.
Look, the worst thing that could have happened to Rubio in this free agency year after his 16-goal season, where he was unreal. He was the highlight of last season. And to be injured, to not be on the field making an impact, to not be scoring goals is the only thing that could possibly keep him here for one more year. Sign a 1-year deal. Banking on being healthy again, banking on connecting with Navarro over these last few games, and being able to carry that into the first half of next year, put some goals on the board, get yourself one last good MLS contract after next season. That's the only way I can see him being back, Yaya.
My thing is, it comes down to this. Rubio just had the second or best season we've ever seen from a striker in club history.
Yeah.
What did the Rapids do? We're picking up your option. We'll see if you can do it again.
Yep.
He gets injured. No security.
Yeah.
Rubio has a bad taste in his mouth.
Yeah.
I've heard from people.
sure.
I've heard from people around like that talk to him and talk more about that he likes Colorado. He likes being here. He likes the state, but he doesn't like the way he's been treated. He thinks he deserves more. He thinks he deserves DP money or maybe even TAP money. And honestly, Rubio's word carries so much weight, not just with the Rapids, but around the league, that after not taking care of him, after having such a great season,
It's insane.
They didn't take care of him. They didn't try to hey man, you balled out for us. We're gonna take care of you. You're basically gonna be a club legend. We want you around for as long as you can, which is what organizations that actually try to be good do. And that Raul Diaz had years that weren't his greatest, but the Sounders keep bringing him back. Why? Because he's a club legend and they know that he can still help the club.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Rubio is part of that contingent that is considered a Latin superstar. We might not see it, but other players around the league consider him that. Other teams around the league consider him a superstar, one of those Latin superstars around the league. You see him MLS Media Day. He took those pictures with the guys. He's part of the group. What do you think is going to happen if he leaves and he tells his experiences with the Rapids that they didn't take care of him? It's going to leave a bad taste on everybody's mouth. And I don't think he comes back, although he should come back at least on a TAM deal for 2 to 3 years. That should be what it is. Give him a TAM deal, give him a lot of money. And I don't think he deserves DP money, but I think he at least gets TAM money, close to it.
Yeah.
And I think that's what he should get.
I think a similar conversation can be had about Price, right? Price, club captain, one of the all-time Rapids. I don't think there's any confusion about that here, right? Jack Price, truly a club legend, so impactful when he's on the field. They are at about a home playoff game level of points per game when he plays, right? It's clear as day when he is on the field. The Rapids are good. The problem is for 2 seasons now, he has not been on the field, and he's coming off a devastating Achilles injury. That is one of the gnarliest injuries you could ever have.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't get worse. I can't think of a thing I would want to injure less than the largest tendon on my body.
I can think of one other place. But
Well, sure, that's fair, yeah. But this is a family show, so don't say it.
Yeah. I'm not going to talk about that, but I think there's maybe 2 places.
All right, fair enough. But he is coming off, and I don't know, even if you're just doing this in a vacuum, not as Porg, but as Porg too, I don't know how you pick up that option. I don't know how you can pay him coming off of punctured lung, torn Achilles, hamstrings, calves. Apparently they're worried about his hips, which was brought up specifically in the infamous presser that from last week. What I've heard is, there's rumblings that they're going to offer him a contract, but it's not going to be one that he wants.
Yeah, that's fair. I think my opinion, he should be back. He should be back on a smaller contract, something like cap room, and I think he should be back as a player kind of coach. Start him off as a coach, work him in a little bit more because he's a leader at the end of the day. I know Duane wants him back because it's his favorite player all time. He loves, and I think Price out there what's so undeniably great about Price is that he has the intangibles in leadership, but out on the pitch, he also has that thing where he doesn't just put in a tackle. He's really good at cutting passing lanes, and once he gets the ball, he knows exactly where the ball should be next.
Yep.
And that's something the Rapids are missing. You saw it with Priso. He cut the passing lanes. He put a tackle in. Then he immediately turned it over because he didn't know where the ball should go. Same thing with Ronan. Ronan is really good at knowing where the ball should go, but he's horrible at cutting the passing lanes and putting in a tackle. Yeah. You need a player that can do both, especially playing that 6. And I think I want him back. I think he should be back on a small 1 or 2 year contract. But I don't think he is going to be back because I think he wants more and he think he deserves more.
Of any of these potential leaving, I think Price is almost the lock to not be here next year. I don't even want to sit here and say that I want him back because I don't see why it's good for him to take a low ball offer. I don't see why the club would invest in an aging, injured player when clearly an entire rebuild from the ground up is needed. And I love Pricey. I think Pricey is amazing. I just talked about how good he is.
Signing hurt, broken players is what we do.
That's Rapids soccer, baby.
Do. Why not bring the best in and do that?
The Rapids way, broken.
That's the Rapids way, baby. Woo! No, you're right, Duane. But I mean, you're the Price guy, so get off your Price, and then we'll kind of speed up through.
Nobody is surprised that I want Jack Price in burgundy and blue next season.
Let's just make him the coach next season.
I do.
Just make him head coach.
I do like Yaya's idea of making him a hybrid player coming in as maybe somewhere on the coaching staff, but a player coach. Yeah, I think that's a very intriguing, like a Drew Moore, but before his retirement, right?
Right.
I think that's a very intriguing idea. I think it's good for the club. I think it's good for Jack too, because ultimately Jack's going to go back home to England. I would love to see him end up at Wolves again in some, whether it's coaching or even in the broadcast booth. At some point, I could see him having a cool role back with Wolves. So I like Yaya's idea the best. I'm ever the optimist, so it's just like, well, we saw him a few weeks ago and he's walking around just fine. Yeah, he's healed. So I want him back for another year. I don't want the last we see of Jack Price to be 2 years of doing club duty, showing up at fan events because he's injured. I want him to finish on the pitch, playing soccer. That's how I want him to ride off into the sunset. We'll see.
They should do an NFL 1-day contract just to have him say bye and you're out of there.
Yeah, unfortunately, I just don't see that happening. Yeah. It sucks. You're right. He deserves to ride off into the sunset Elway, Peyton, Drew Moore style, where it's plain, it's a win, it's fun, the crowd's behind him, but it's not going to happen. And that's the way it goes. That's the way it goes with big injuries. It's the way it goes with aging players. It's the way it goes with rebuilds for bad teams, and it sucks that a club legend like that is going to be the victim of it. Okay, next. And maybe all of our thoughts on this changed as of this week because our guy William Yarborough, goes in for meniscus surgery, will miss likely the rest of the season. He definitely had a bounce back year. I think last year was not good. Even with bad defense, I think all the metrics would point to being a down year for our guy. And he turned it around. He's had, I think, 7 home shutouts or something like that, 6 home shutouts. Yeah. He's been good with a bad backline in front of him. And he now there's a team option to pick up his contract. You have Illich, who I thought was stopping shots pretty well last night. And you're committed to him for 2.5 more seasons with an option or 2 options past that with Illich. He's younger. So, this one I'm kind of on the fence, and I kind of want to hear both of you guys before I kind of say, because it's a more complicated question now that there is that injury and that surgery there. And you saw Illich looked pretty good at stopping shots last night. So, Duane, I want to start with you. Where are you on the Yarby option? Should you pick it up? Yes, no?
Not worried about the injury. I don't know if the Rapids can spend that much money on 2 keepers.
You're talking, what, $750K between the two of them?
Almost
Something
$1
like
million.
that? Almost $1 million,
Yeah. So, man, I'm a Yarby guy too. This whole list sucks for me. I hate this.
Well, the first
so
3
much.
sucked. I think
I hate it
it's going to be
so
quick.
much.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, you didn't pick Yarby as your guy this year. You
So
picked
no,
Illich as your
I was
guy
trying
this
to help
year,
out
so-
the new guy, and now we get to see the new guy. So,
My guys have been sucked.
um,
Yeah,
Yeah,
my
my-
guy's a gambler who is banned from soccer, basically. So cool.
yeah. I think this one's a tough one for the Rapids, but I think ultimately they do not extend the option to him.
Sure.
I think you've got they've already made their statement by bringing Illich in. Plus you've got Abe, which we'll talk about in a bit, and you've also got Beaudry, who we thought
He's
was
so
years
dope.
off
He's
because
so
he's
dope.
little, but he's not little. Like he's a grown man, young man. So I think he might be closer than we thought he might be.
Yeah, for sure. To me, it's clear. It's simple. You don't bring him back. I don't.
Sorry,
think,
dude.
And it's not because I don't think he's been good. I think he's had the best season he's had in the last 2-3 years, honestly, with those clean
It's a
sheets.
great season.
But it just comes down to he's older. Horrig and Fraser clearly invested in another player in Illich.
Yeah.
And the one reason I like Yarby is because his footwork is incredible. He knows where the ball should go with his feet. He's good with the ball. And last night, Illich looked to panic a little bit more. And if you want to play out of the back the way they do, it's not going to work as well if he doesn't shore up that part of his game.
Yeah, we'll see.
But again, he's a shot stopper. At the end of the day, I think, sorry, Zach Hawley, you're going to hear this. Goalies are kind of easier to replace than any other
100%.
position in soccer. And at the end of the day, I think Illich is going to be a good replacement. And to me, it's just Yarby walks and
I think Yarby's going to get paid.
I think
because
Yarby's going to go to Mexico.
I think he's going to
gonna
get.
paid that much. He's coming off surgery.
I think he'll get paid more than he is here.
Well, yeah.
Dude, you haven't seen Club America. They'll pay. And Mexico
Yeah.
plays goalkeepers like crazy.
Well, sure,
so they're
but-
like 45.
But
I think he's
is
going to
he
get
enough
paid.
for the best team on the continent, arguably?
He'll
go
get
in
paid
and
by
start
any
and
of
get
those
paid? That's
teams
kinda
more than
my-
here.
he doesn't have to even literally like Tijuana's paying so much money for Corona, and it's
Yeah,
like
that's
he's
true.
an aging player, dude. Like you don't have to go to the best team. Like,
Shout out the
Yeah.
Cholos.
Yeah,
Those are my
like,
guys.
that's what I'm telling
and
you.
he's
all right,
earned
so
it.
we're going no on Yarby. Sorry, we got to cruise through this one because we
Yeah,
do
dude,
go
those
on.
were those were the big three.
Those
ones,
are
in
the
my
big
opinion.
three, right? New guy, the new guy coming in, and I think this is the no-brainer because I thought offensively last night he looked great. Defensively, everyone left a lot to be desired. Andrew Gutman, fresh from Atlanta.
Yeah, extend him.
Great connection with Navarro last night.
Yeah, extend
Honestly.
him.
The nicest play last night was a long ball from Gutman into a Navarro holdup, who found Keegan wide open on that right wing, led to a shot that went over the bar. But I thought it was beautiful. If that connection can happen, especially with how much Gutman and Keegan press up and get involved in the offense, I think it's the easiest. Yes, he'll be back.
Yeah, give him a 5-year deal right now.
Don't even do the option. Just extend him.
Yeah,
Just go and extend right now.
Give him
Perfect.
give him a 2-year with 2 in the back end and see how it works.
Another outside back, and this is most likely to me the player coach one here. Stephen Beitashear.
Nah, drop him. I like Beta. He's
I
a great guy.
love Beta.
Beta, I think, is really reliable. But if you're doing a whole rehaul of this team, you can't leave any traces unless they're stars.
I wonder how long you have, and where it lines up with like the last couple spots on the roster, and maybe you don't pick up the option, but you see like, is there a last spot up? Because like he's not going to play that much, right? Like he didn't play much last year. He didn't play much this year. I think it is a good guy to have around. And here's the thing: the difference between having him around and having Price around is the price, right? Like he's going to be much cheaper to have a good, steadying coaching influence.
To me, it's the Vince Carter thing. You're taking a spot from a younger kid that might
fair
deserve
enough.
a role.
Yeah, fair enough. Dwayne.
I agree with Yaya.
All right, fair enough. See you, Steven. You guys are mean. No, I'm just kidding.
No, I like him.
What's
Great guy.
mean when you say it like
No,
that?
I'm just kidding.
That's on you for being mean.
Okay, up next, the Scottish Salmon himself, Danny Wilson.
Ship him off.
Bye, Danny Wilson. After last night, I don't want to see one of those center backs back.
Max might have to be back.
Well, he will be back. Yeah. That doesn't mean I want to see any of them come back after last night. As in 0.
Yeah.
Duane?
Yeah,
You're a Danny Wilson guy. Well, you were at some point. I think you've become disillusioned.
I don't know if I've ever been a...
Yeah.
Maybe it was you?
No, I hated him. I thought he was bad.
I don't hate him.
Wait, I was about to say, I don't hate him. Like, just didn't like the way he played.
Yeah.
He's a great guy.
He missed time last year.
Last year. I mean, it's just... Wilson is he's the extreme player, right? Like, Danny Wilson gives and Danny Wilson takes away.
Yeah.
So it's that sort of thing where it's you get really great Danny Wilson or really not so great.
Okay, these last 4 we're gonna go through. These have to be yes or no's because we do go on. Seb Anderson.
Keep him. I love him. I think he's good.
Yeah, take that option.
Absolutely. Yeah, just give Seb the beta minutes that are not a lot but are there.
Exactly.
Right?
That's what I'm
that should just be Seb's minutes. Okay, Abe Rodriguez.
I think it's a bye.
Bye. Put Beaudry on the roster, man. Let him back up Illich.
No, I think you go get another keeper. And
get another keeper.
You let Beaudry just keep developing.
At a certain point, I think a guy like Beaudry with his ceiling, how many seasons do you need at MLS Next Pro?
One more. Because he's only 17. I think look what happened to Yappy. You also can't bring him up too quickly.
I think Beaudry's a much better prospect than Yappy ever was, personally. But fair enough. Fair. I hear you. Seb, yes, no?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, wait. Not Seb. Abe. Yeah. Yes, no?
No.
Calvin Harris.
Yes.
Yes.
He's got options for 24 and 25, by the way. So
I don't see any reason why he wouldn't. He's dirt cheap.
And I think, as I said last night, he's got lots more to prove on this.
Absolutely.
On this
I'm
squad.
a Harris guy.
I am too.
Both of you guys are big-time Calvin Harris guys. Big DJ heads. Ralph Priso.
I know I'm going to get hate for this one.
You're going to say yes?
I'm going to say yes because I think it can be a piece because your known quantities are on a bad team are unknowns to other teams, and he can be a piece in a trade.
Sure. I do think, I think you need a guy with some dog off the bench. If you're thinking that he's going to be the starting 6 going forward, I think that's not what you do, right? Like, if you're locking him into a contract and that's what it is, not into it. Duane?
Yeah, we've got options for 2 more years. Take them, and if it doesn't work out, then you can always see if another team's interested. Yeah,
fair enough. All right, we're going to jump into some around the MLS and some Twitter questions that we got yesterday and the day before. But before that, we must talk about the homies at Shady Rays, baby.
Shady.
If you are at practice, watching practice out in the Rapids parking lot, if you are at Broncos training camp, if you're at a Rockies game, it's bright out there, man. And you need your Shady Rays.
Especially this week.
Take on that sun with gear built to last. Our friends at Shady Rays have you covered for the warm weather ahead with premium polarized shades at an affordable price. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company that offers a world-class product that is just as good as any expensive pair that we have worn. Durable frames, extremely clear optics for outdoor adventures. But that's not all. Shady Rays offers the most insane protection in all of eyewear. Every single pair of sunglasses is backed by the lost and broken replacements policy, aka the Susie Hunter rule.
Actually, wait. I have a good story on this. I went to El Paso this past weekend because I had family stuff going on. I lost my sunglasses. Woke up Monday morning. I'm like, shit, don't have my glasses. Got a new pair coming in this week because of Shady Rays replacement.
Awesome.
Look at that.
Love it.
I've actually used it.
There you go. Like Yaya, if you lose or break your pair, even on day one, they told us they will send you a brand new pair. No questions asked. Wear your Shady Rays with confidence because they have your back long after you purchase. Together with their customers, Shady Rays is providing much needed support to nonprofit partners across the U.S. through Shady Rays Impact. From building playsets for pediatric cancer patients to providing young adults with MS, the outdoor adventure of a lifetime, Shady Rays is making an impact in your community and others like it. Now and for years to come, you can shop the entire collection at their brand new location in Park Meadows Mall. That's a full stop shop for all things Shady Rays. And if if you don't love your Shady Rays, you can exchange them or return them for free within 30 days. There's no risk when you shop. The team always has your back. And exclusively for you, the listeners, our listeners, Shady Rays is giving out the best deal of the season. Go to shadyrays.com. Use code DNVR for 50% off 2+ pairs of polarized sunglasses. Try for yourself the shades rated 5 stars by over 250,000 people and rated 5 Rapids by downtown Duane Brown.
It's true.
Also, and you guys know what's next, the truest of homies, Illegal Pete's.
Yum, 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 yum.
This episode of DNVR Rapids is brought to you by Illegal Pete's, offering handmade mission-style burritos, bowls, and tacos crafted with responsibly sourced, high-quality ingredients with a full bar and a wide selection of local craft beer at every location to keep the burritos and good times rolling. Stop by for happy hour 3 to 8 p.m. every day at all 12 locations. Illegal Pete's, the go-to spot for burritos, buddies, and beer for 28 years.
B. Treble B.
Dwayne?
It's a lot of years for burritos.
That's not what I was asking.
And you know, when you have that many years in burritos, you get a special treat.
What is the treat?
It's called
Mitch's Pete's Tip of the Week.
I really thought you were going to say flatulence. I'm like...
It's flatulence, everyone.
Look, queso can do a number on you.
Beans can
So
do a number.
I was working with Illegal Pete's. I spent almost a decade at Illegal Pete's. It is an awesome company. They really do know how to party. You said 28 years. Well, I was there when the 20th anniversary happened. And you know what they did? They put on a concert at Red Rocks with 3 kick-ass bands. And it was
just for the employees?
Well, we got the first 10 rows in backstage, and then it was just tickets available.
That's awesome.
It was Built to Spill.
Don't know them.
It's a bunch of 90s. It's Pete music, basically.
Yeah.
It was
surprisingly enough,
the
Night
Sweats opened up. It was Night Sweats, Lucero, and Built to Spill. It was super fun. It was a great party, and 2 years from now it'll be the 30th anniversary, and if you can go to that party, you should go. That's what I'm telling you. That's my tip of the week. Go to that party. All right. Let's move on. Segment 2, around the MLS. Real quick. There's one thing around the MLS I want to get to. And look,
you feel passionately about it.
Look and listen. I am not a designer by any stretch of the imagination. These two designers. My wife, graphic designer.
I'm a junior designer.
D-line designer. So you know what? Maybe your guys' opinion is different. But I saw what I can only consider an insult to the word design. Alyssa, can you pull up the graphic? The Atlanta United kit that came out this week is the worst thing I have ever seen in my life.
Our producer just pulled it up a little. Her response, she tilted her head, kind of like when people are confused, they're like, huh? She didn't know what to think of it.
This is terrible. Horrible. Awful. It reminds me of that bad Mavericks one that came out 2 years ago. Who cares when it was? It was awful.
To me, I just looked it up because I wanted to think about it. It reminds me of Outcast.
Well, sure. That's what I mean. That's
yes.
clearly what they're going for.
Yeah, it's the
right?
Italians.
Gucci.
There's a
Outcast.
story behind it in the sense that
they
were they worked with an agency called Atlanta Influences Everything. So I went and researched them yesterday. They do a lot of good work in Atlanta. They partnered with both Adidas and Atlanta United to create this thing, and it's basically, in their words, I'm paraphrasing here, but it's an homage to the 1990s, which is when Atlanta really kind of got its growth spurt. Really kind of came on the map. That was the hot Atlanta years. Of course. All of that.
Come on, Ludacris. I was rocking word of mouth in 6th grade. I thought it was the coolest thing ever.
Ludacris was 2000s.
Well, I mean, that was the late 90s into 2000s. It was
I'm
him, it was Future, it was Outkast,
like,
it was Gucci Mane, Jermaine Dupri. Like, there's so much cool shit going on in Atlanta. Yeah. But this is not how you honor Atlanta.
It's not the best design.
It's terrible.
It's a little... D-Line and I were talking about this yesterday. We didn't talk very long on it, to be honest. And it's basically, the thought was Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is what it looks like to me.
I was like thinking that on the way in.
We got two sounds out of Alyssa today.
I hope that was on mic. That was amazing. Any other thoughts on this terrible kit?
I think
cool.
The thing that bugs me about it is I know that it's not a font, but when you look at graffiti should look like it's made by hand, because that's what graffiti is in its truest form. It's street art. It's made by people. If you got a Sharpie or you got a spray can, you're doing it with your hands. And this is so clean from a graffiti standpoint that it looks like a font. And the sprays where it's supposed to look like it's shiny.
Don't like that.
At the corners. I mean, that's a very popular graffiti technique, obviously, but that was clearly done with a computer. And they're all the same. Like every one of those is the same spray highlight with that little stick that's supposed to be like a drip that's going vertical, up instead of down is strange to me as well. But that little piece right there to me makes it look so made by computer.
It's terrible.
It's what I don't like about it the most.
Yep.
It just needs to be more handmade.
Yep.
Concept is good. The execution is not.
Yep. The execution is awful. Okay, moving on. We got Twitter questions. This one from Jason Maxwell. Shout out Jason Maxwell. What should the front office realistically do in the next 2 months to sell people on season tickets for next year?
I'm going to be honest. I haven't put a lot of thought into it.
I have. Can I go first?
Yeah, go ahead.
Go for it. You go first.
Perks.
Yeah.
Perks.
What kind of perks? There's already perks that season ticket members get. So,
but they're not as good as they used to be.
Be more specific.
Right? So you went from
They're about the same.
Well, no, because we did the math. You get less of a discount now on things than you did. Right?
Well, the discount is different. They used to have different prices for things
which were
like
better.
food.
And now it's a 10% discount, which is less money off.
Yeah.
Right? So there should be better pricing in the team store and
the team store is the same discount. The food is where it gets a little different.
The food, better discount. Number one. Instead of just getting a tiny little patch that costs a nickel from China, maybe a kit, right? Maybe a special edition kit.
This is a fact. Yes.
Maybe like anything nice, not just a cheap roughneck scarf with no design on it.
The gift is
maybe not. You know what I mean? There's just like it's not enough. It's not enough. Up the perks. You have your like state of the dress, and you have your meet the players, and then we got to go check out the northbound route through your season tickets, right?
A new scarf, Cody saying.
Yeah, how about a new scarf?
Well, the issue I think Cody's is bringing up is that when you're a season ticket member, you get the burgundy and white striped scarf. And so the only way you can get that scarf is if you're a season ticket member, which I think is very cool.
Sure.
I love that. But you pay the same price every year for the season ticket, or you pay more every year, but you only get a scarf that first time. So I think that might be maybe what Cody's referring to. If he's not, that's what a lot of season ticket members are always kind of griping about is, wait, we're paying more, but we only got a scarf that first year.
Yes,
so,
correct.
Yeah, but maybe it's
But that's what I think.
Or something like you were saying.
Yeah,
like
a kit.
Something tangible that you can wear that's not a 50-cent
How about
nickel
like
patch.
Upgrade options, right? Where it's like, where if you are paying the same amount or your prices do go up, you get a better seat than you had, or you get like, there's just so many things, and I don't have them specifically, right? Like I don't have specifics. Do this, because one, I'm not a season ticket holder. I'm a member of the press. I'll be in the press box. I'll not be buying season tickets at any point. But it's clear from the response on Twitter and from talking to season ticket holders, talking to you, it's not worth it. Make it worth it. Up the perks. You have Cronky money, baby. Spend the money.
I also think one way that you can get more people invested in the last 2 months is give them a taste of an experience what a season ticket holder might have. You know, in the next 2 months, maybe organize something with the team and invite people. You're like, hey, if you become a season ticket holder, like, this is what you could do on a year basis. Like, something like that to kind of... Also, it's just, if you want to entice people, it also has to be product on the field.
Yeah.
There has to be accountability from the team, because that's the only way you can really do it. You have to be better on the field. And the other thing it has to be is you have to tell people, like, hey, this is what we're planning on doing, and then actually go through with it. Not just say what they're thinking of doing. Like, you actually have to go through things.
Yeah, there's 3 things that would need to happen for me. Like, I'm not speaking for anybody other than myself. One is similar to what Yahya was just saying. Like, there has to be changes coming. It's been too many years of we've got our eyes on a guy or two in the winter transfer. Like, there needs to be some changes, especially after the last 2 years, whether it's front office coaching, and we need to see that. The second one is continued improvements in the stadium, north boundary, getting rid of the wedding tents and making that something that's visually appealing.
Yeah, the north boundary
is a huge upgrade in the stadium. I think that's a good one. They need to continue making those improvements. Obviously, we all gripe about the scoreboard. It's embarrassing. If it were to be the scoreboard or any other improvement, I think one of the fails with Rapids is that when they make an improvement, they keep it a secret and try to surprise everybody once it's done. But you can't wait. Like, you got to sell season tickets now. So if you're going to fix something or you're going to make changes, get those computer renderings out now and say, this is what's coming in 2024. Be a part of this and show those renderings to get people excited about it so that they know what's coming.
Yeah, all waiting does is just have people go,
you're not doing anything.
Cool. Thanks for telling us now. Yeah, it's sick.
It tells you that they're not doing anything.
Yeah, all you get is, where was this a year ago?
Yeah.
Like, that's the only response you get by waiting.
The last thing, and I think this one's the most important, this to me is the most egregious season ticket thing that's happened since I've been a season ticket holder, is that they switched the exchange system this year without telling anyone. And basically, they created tiers. So if you go from a low tier to switch your ticket into a higher tier, you have to pay the difference. But if you are a season ticket holder and you switch your ticket from a higher tier to a lower tier, they don't pay you for the difference.
You don't get credit.
So there's 2 things. Either get rid of that, because it's really kind of a slap in the face to me personally. Like, I was very angry about that. Or pay me when I switch,
even if it's a credit.
Make it equitable. Yeah. Like, we've already paid for the tickets. Make it equitable. Don't take money away when we've already given you that money in good faith to make the club better. And then you're making it a worse experience. So
the Rockies are the best at that, honestly, in terms of ticket exchange. The Rockies are probably the best in town for that. Granted, they have more games to do that with, but still.
Real quick, really, really off topic, but really, really quick. I want to tell Duane that you were right. Loyal just said that this is the last season and they're not coming back next year.
Told you. So. There you go. Your man is free and clear.
Landon Donovan. Are you ready to be a Colorado
I knew that team was going.
Shout out Mitch Potter. Get ready to learn Coloradan, buddy. All right. This one.
It's mountain, not mountain.
Mountain. Yeah. Jesus Christ. Okay. This one from our homie Matt Pollard, who shout out again. Got a shout out on the broadcast last night.
That's awesome. That was really nice to hear.
Rabbi and Red, holding the high line. Shout out those guys. They're the best. This is from Matt Pollard. Where are all the hosts individually on the Fraser hot seat / someone else should be fired first spectrum? Look, and I said it last night, and I'm going to say it again. Thinking that Fraser should be out does not mean I think Smith should be in. Right? Those 2 things are not the same. You can think both, and I do. But I do not think in any single possible way you can run back this coaching staff after what the product on the field has been this season. I think Robin Fraser is I don't think he's an S tier MLS coach, but I'd probably put him in that A tier. I think he's as good outside of a few coaching hires as you can possibly have in this league. I think he'll get a job immediately, and I think he'll do a good job at that job. You You absolutely cannot run this back. You cannot expect people who are spending their hard-earned money on season tickets to want to watch this again. You just can't.
Yeah.
He cannot be back next year. This coaching staff cannot be back. I also don't think that the president of the team is going to fire himself, right? But I don't. But I think both should be gone.
Would do that.
But you have, at minimum, getting rid of Fraser brings change. Is it good change? Maybe not, right? Will it be positive? No, but it will be different. You can't say it'll be positive or negative yet because we don't know, but it will be different, and you need different. You cannot run this back, period. End of my rant. Yeah. What do you think?
I mean, we've talked about it multiple times. Like, went off yesterday that it's ludicrous that Fraser having a system that works and actually being good, and then just needing a striker to finish the chances. Then you completely go away from that system to complete something else that just doesn't work, and then you get blown out 4-0 on your first game back after weeks of preparation and practice. It just makes no sense. That's something we didn't cover. I think Fraser's seat is scorching hot.
It's on fire.
Like, it's like he literally has nothing left, like, to prove to this team, and how much that if he goes to another team is going to be good. To me, I think if Porrick leaves, I don't think Porrick should leave. To me, I think Porrick should be demoted or taking the job role of GM away and given to somebody else. Let somebody else handle the team activities. Maybe he takes on a wider role of just covering the whole team.
Yeah, I mean, he's a finance guy.
Bring in somebody that actually scouts, brings everybody in, and it has a good connection between him and the actual coach. You saw it with the Broncos. They brought in John Elway. John Elway was no longer doing good at his job.
Yeah.
So they brought in George Payton. He took on the president's role, helped out in other ways, and they brought in a coach they both believed in. Didn't work out, but at the end of the day, it worked so much.
Yep.
So,
correct.
In my opinion, I think it's maybe you don't fire Porter. You just take a role away from him.
Correct.
Let him do the big picture stuff. You put an actual GM in there that can go find people. Maybe it's Anna Donovan. Who knows?
But do you? I mean, God, I wish.
Like,
do you think? But do you? Okay, so but the question. Is he on the hot seat fired first, or is someone else?
There's nobody
first?
Else. Like, who else could be fired first? Yeah. You're not gonna fire Woolley just because he's like, oh, the offense sucks. No, you fire the head of the snake, and that's the head of the snake.
Yeah. Because what that does also is, I think Wally and Sharpie are also very good assistant coaches. I think Sharpie's the best set piece coach in soccer. We're close to it. Period.
I mean, maybe in the U.S.
Maybe anywhere. He's very good. You can't run this back. It's been too bad. You just can't. Duane, what are your thoughts?
I mean, coach is always the first scapegoat. So,
okay, but scapegoat.
So the question is, the question was, do we think his seat is hot? I think his seat is nuclear, right?
Yeah.
Like it's the coach. The coach is always the scapegoat right now. And like you said, like Porrick's not going to fire himself. Like that's not what presidents do. You know
what, guys? I haven't been doing very good. I'm going to give up my job running an entire organization.
Someone always takes the fall, and the main person to do that in any sport on any team is always the coach. So, yes, I think his seat is just in premium. Like,
I guess
super duper.
Honestly, you look like at this point, it's like Fraser has like 3rd-degree burns on his bum. Like, he has nothing left. Like, if he coaches the rest of the season, what is he gonna prove? He's not people. Or he has a good track record. Like, this is his first bad season really in about 4 years.
I think Fraser is a good coach, and I think he's very well liked in the locker room. I think he's liked in MLS. I think that and we've talked about this numerous times, is that you have someone in the front office bringing in a type of, a group of players set to play one style of soccer, and then you have a coach who prefers to play a different style of soccer, and those two puzzle pieces don't fit.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and that's the thing. Like, I think Robin Fraser will be very successful if he wants to continue coaching.
Yeah, absolutely.
He'll be with a team, and if he gets a squad of players that play how he wants to play, and he's been given that roster to support the way he coaches, which he has not been given here at Colorado, he's going to be awesome. Like, he's going to have a great squad, and they're going to play Fraser ball, and Fraser ball is going to be very good.
Yeah.
You know, he just doesn't have that here because those two pieces aren't working together right now. And unfortunately, he's the coach and not the president. So
I do. Okay. So I said I think he's a very good coach, and I think he is. I think he has done a bad job this year, though.
Yeah, that's fine.
I think
Sure.
it's been a bad coaching job. I think the formations have been bad.
I think
the
you
offense
see the first
has
and
been
second half
bad.
switch.
I think the
last
lineup
night.
choices have been bad. I think as much as we need a fresh start as people who consume the Rapids product, he needs a fresh start. He needs to go in, new situation, new people around him every day, whether that's front office, staff members, comm staff, security. Like, there's a comfortability, right, in staying the same, right? And to get uncomfortable is best to create change. And I think it's got too comfortable here. It hasn't gone well this year. There's no way you can say it has, and there's no way you can take... Now, I'm not saying it's 100% his fault, because, again, we know that the Rapids roster isn't up to snuff. But that being said, you have to at least make it look like competent soccer on the field, and it's just not. It's just not.
Yeah. There's bad things all over.
It's bad. It's bad. It's all bad. This one from Rapids Foreign Legion. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think so.
From the homie, the meme god himself. Define the Rapids way, comparing it to a food or beverage.
I have mine.
Oh, God.
Mine's a flat beer.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
I was like, you know when you wake up after a house party and there's a beer next to you that's about half full and you just try it thinking maybe it's not awful and then it is.
It just is like you're going well, like it's a nice beer on a hot day. Like, you look at the beer, you think it's gonna be fun, you think it's gonna be a great time. You know, you're all in. You look at all these things, you drink it, it's flat, it's warm, and you're just like, screw this, I'm leaving. That's what the Rapids way feels like. Looks great, sounds great, not really that good at the end of the day.
Duane?
My favorite comedian of all time is Mitch Hedberg. I think he was hilarious. And one of the jokes that he's very observational, just kind of like says statements, but they're always funny. So this is not going to be funny when I say it, but this is the first thing I thought of when that question came up. And he said, as a comedian, you have to start the show strong and you have to end the show strong. Like, those are the two key elements. You can't be like pancakes. You're all happy at first, but by the end, you're sick of them. And that's what the Rapids way is to me. Like, you hear it when you're eating. Like, no one goes to IHOP and truly eats
Only pancakes.
all they can eat pancakes when they have all they can eat, because all you can eat pancakes is not very many pancakes. Because, like, after you've eaten some, you're like, man, I don't want any more pancakes. And that's kind of how I am with the Rapids way. Like, it came out, everybody got excited. It's like, oh man, yay, pancakes. And then after you eat like 3 or 4 pancakes, you're like, God, I don't want any more pancakes.
Of course not. That's a lot of food.
Right. But I mean, it's 4 pancakes.
I love pancakes. I can't get behind this. The Rapids way is way worse than pancakes.
No,
It's my analogy.
That's fair. You're right.
I'm not answering this question for you.
I know.
I'm answering it for
of course.
Foreign Legion, and that's what it is. You get through a stack of pancakes, and by the end, you're just like, I kind of wish I was done with these pancakes already, and that's how I feel about the Rapids way. I wish we were done with it. We're not talking about, I would never, my waffles, you can never have enough waffles that I make. They're amazing.
Never had Red Lobster, Kevin. Not fancy like you. I'm sorry I'm broke.
Red Lobster.
All right. Really, this has to be quick. We got to kind of burn through these last couple things.
Yeah,
So no paragraphs on these answers, quick answers. But we're going to do a quick Rapids one and then MLS wide one. We're going to go down the line. No, we're going to start with Yahya.
Left it. Awesome.
Okay. Yeah, go.
Wild Rapids prediction for the rest of the season.
Wild Rapids prediction for the rest of the season is Rafael Navarro becomes the Rapids highest scorer of the season.
Is that wild? He only needs to score 4 goals?
Okay, then I'll change it.
I don't know if mine's all that wild either then. I mean, it shouldn't be wild, but I think you're going to be like, well, okay.
Fine. Rubio sits out for the rest of the season.
Sits out. That is wild. Love that. Duane?
The Rapids highest
I thought we were going down the line.
I lied. Duane?
The Rapids highest scorer will continue to be a defenseman and Andrew Gutman.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
I love
I
that.
hate that, but It doesn't feel all that wild, but it should be very wild that happens.
Wild prediction. Rapids' woes continue, and somehow they backdoor their way in to avoiding the wooden spoon by 1 point on decision day.
Wild. I think that's what's going to happen.
Toronto. Yeah. It's Toronto. I believe that will happen.
Yeah.
Then my wild prediction is that they get the wooden spoon.
What? That's wild!
All right, whatever. I didn't think about that one long enough. Wild prediction
Now
for the
you have
rest
to go
of the
first, Mitch.
MLS season.
Now you have to
reverse
go first.
order.
You have to go first.
Wild prediction for the rest of the season.
You go first. You went last.
Miami treble. Boom. All right, Duane.
Miami will win the League's Cup. We know this.
They already did.
Will Miami win the Open Cup? Yes. Will Miami win the MLS Cup? No.
Oh.
They will lose in the Eastern Conference Final.
2.
A team from Ohio.
Which one?
Cincy.
It's not Cincy.
Columbus?
Columbus
Right.
will upset.
Get your Columbus tickets
Columbus
in while you can,
will
baby.
upset Miami in the Eastern Conference Final.
Love that.
No one will see it coming except for me and all of you who are watching.
I think mine's going to be extremely wild.
Go.
Hani Mukhtar at 13 goals. Messi becomes the Golden Boot winner of the season with 11 games left.
Oh,
That's a good one. All right.
I think
that's crazy, but also very doable.
Dude, he has already like
If
9
he
goals,
gets
10 goals.
three free kicks a game, makes that happen.
True.
Dude, what I'm
Because
saying.
he's going to score on 2 of them.
I'm telling you, it's going to happen. I put money on it.
All right, there we go. All right, there you have it. Those are our wild predictions. We're going to talk about the Loons game real quick next Wednesday, but first, we got some ad reads to get to. The North Boundary at Dick's Sporting Goods Park is the newest addition to the Colorado Rapids game day experience, the only field-level patio in Denver sports. We sat there. It was pretty tight. Can't lie. Enjoyed my time there for the R2 game. When there's action at that goal, it's about as exciting as it gets.
Yep.
Offers space for fans to gather and take in the action from an unparalleled viewpoint right behind the goal. Each ticket on the patio at North Boundary includes a drink voucher and gets you access to food trucks and concession options right by your seats. Learn more at coloradorapids.com/northboundary. Tickets available now at coloradorapids.com. We are also brought to you by Broken T Golf Course. We just had a tournament there. I've played multiple tournaments there. I've played rounds there. It is one of my favorite golf courses ever. Has fantastic vibes. Award-winning practice facility. You can play 27 holes in a day. Great little par 3 course. They have a stocked pro shop full of all the gear you want. Wyatt's, fantastic restaurant. I'm a big get a meal at the turn guy on a golf course. Love grabbing some dogs. Couple dogs down at the turn, huh?
I don't know anything about golf. You're
Jesus,
looking at me
Duane.
like,
Neither
don't
do
you,
I, my
Duane? Don't you love? I don't know what the turn means.
I've never been.
I know what hot dogs
So
are.
you go out and back your first 9, and then the
Okay.
turn is you play 10 to 18. The turn is the
mid. So
front.
halftime.
Yeah,
it's
correct,
golf halftime.
Golf halftime.
Okay,
correct.
great. I'm
and
with
I mean,
you.
look at this logo right
Sure.
there. Do you see the logo
The Grateful Dead
below
line.
Duane?
I made
it's
that.
perfect.
They have,
this
like,
golf course was made for your boy.
10 different
made
logos.
for it.
Yeah.
They also have Meta Golf, which is the most experienced teaching professionals you can find. They are great if you need to work on your game. You can play the par 3. You can jump up to the 18 after you get some help from them. There is a charity tournament on Friday, September 22nd. Prizes support Bridge House, Tri-Cities Homeless Action Team's effort to open a navigation center that will provide a facility for community members struggling with homelessness to receive temporary shelter, connect with services, and create a pathway out of homelessness for good. Go to brokentgolf.com to make tee times and get the latest updates. Use code DNVR10 for 10% off any round on their regulation course. Fantastic deal. Shout out to the homies at Broken T. All right, here we go. Segment 3. We're going to wind it down. Thanks for hanging with us twice in the span of 12 hours, by the way. You guys are real ones. If you can, hit us with a like. If you're still watching, helps us out, goes a long way. If you're listening, rate us 5 stars on whatever app you are using. The Rapids get a weekend off to lick their wounds, right? Also to allow us to actually not suffer through another game for a week.
I get to watch the Broncos on Saturday.
Final preseason game?
Yeah.
I don't know if I've spent any time watching final preseason
Well, I
games
cover
in a
the
long
team.
time. You have to. You are the
I cover
producer
the
of
team.
Broncos.
Exactly.
Yeah, you have. You're stuck watching preseason.
Yeah, but then I get to watch real football.
Footy?
Yeah.
Footy?
No, that's not footy.
I'm excited for Forest United this weekend, personally. Dwayne, what are you going to do with your weekend off?
I don't know what I know what I'm not doing.
What are you not doing?
I'm not cleaning my garage.
Yeah, that's right, baby.
I spent 2 weekends doing that. It's going to be raining. Whatever you're doing,
I know my
Friday
birthday's
and
gonna be
Saturday,
rainy. I'm sad.
be prepared to bring that indoors or bring an umbrella because we got a lot of rain coming. Sunday, I'm going over to my buddy's tattoo shop. He's having a cool event over at As Above, So Below Tattoo. They're having just an awesome event with lots of eateries, brunch, as my guy Mitch would love to have.
Real brunch head over here. Big time
If you were
brunch
playing
head.
golf, you would go there for halftime for their brunch over there.
Nah, just
Next
Glizzy's
door
at
to the
halftime.
shop. Yeah, so that's what we're going to do on Sunday. Saturday, I'm probably going to do a whole lot of nothing.
What are you doing tomorrow?
What's tomorrow? Friday? I'm working. I'm going to be here making cool stuff for DNVR.
There's one thing you
and
have to
ALLCITY.
do tomorrow. Both of you.
You can't tell me what to do.
That's fair. You don't
I'm a
have to, I
grown-ass
guess,
man.
But if you're a good friend, you would.
What is it? I'm waiting. Like,
Are we having birthday cake for your birthday?
It is my birthday tomorrow. That's
birthday,
right.
Mitch!
Happy birthday.
Oh, thanks, Alyssa.
We got
Super producer.
three
Super
sounds
producer
out
off
of
mic.
the
Man,
producer.
this is what legendary appearance. from
Alyssa's
super
actually my
producer
boss
Alyssa.
too, so I love yelling at her because it's the only time I can
Hey!
tell her how to do things.
If it's not
Produce
raining,
this!
if it's not raining at lunch, we should go to Illegal Pete's.
We should.
I'm
Unfortunately,
actually
we're going to have to do that
tomorrow.
today because I'm off tomorrow.
Yeah, yeah.
Dealing with some family stuff. So we can do it today.
Maybe
after
we'll do
this.
it today.
Anyways, let's
Right
get
now,
into
it's
it. That's our
lunchtime.
weekend off. I will be going to the movies actually tomorrow for my birthday.
You know
I love
what-
going to the movies. That's
Ninja
what I'm
Turtles.
doing. It's between Ninja Turtles and the scary movie with the hand thing
Oh yeah.
because I like the spoopy movies. It's fun.
I don't know what. Guess
Maybe
what?
that's what I'll do this week on Saturday. Penny and I will go see new Ninja Turtles.
Yeah,
I
that
want
looks
to do
awesome.
that too.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna stay home and watch all the Star Wars,
All 9?
all 9 of them. I have nothing to do. I'm just gonna sit down, do some kind love, and just watch Star Wars
Free ad read, kind love.
nonstop. I'm gonna be so turboed
Let's go.
that nobody's gonna know who I am.
Let's go. Okay, let's talk Loons, baby. The Loons game was the Jack Price injury, right?
Yeah,
It was the only lead until the win,
yeah. They were up 1-0.
right? And it was the only lead they had until they finally won at home.
Correct.
They only held the lead for about 13 minutes. Jack Price comes on at halftime, tears his Achilles before the 55th minute.
I don't want to talk about it.
Well, I'm just telling you what
Let's
happened
move
to
on
set
to
up the
next.
reverse fixture in Minnesota. Little different look from Minnesota. Not little, very different look from Minnesota. You had Timu Pukki, my guy. Love that guy. Wish he wasn't in Minnesota. Wish he was here. And Reynoso's also back. Yeah. Which one of those two additions scares you more?
Reynoso's the beast, dude. This dude is the sort of player
He's
the Rapids
him.
need.
Yeah, he's him.
Reynoso's the guy. If you watch Leagues Cup and the way that he was going toe to toe with Buanga and Carlos Vela, basically by himself, because Timo Pukki did not know what was going on yet. That was like his first game. You would be so impressed, and you'd be like, "That dude is a top 5 player in this whole region." He went toe to toe with 2 of the top 5 players in the league, and he held his own. To me, Reynoso's that guy. Reynoso, also real quick, Lucho Acosta really created a lot of fans yesterday with that Open Cup game. Lucho was everywhere.
Yeah.
Like, he was going toe to toe with Messi too. People were like, "Wow, that's impressive."
Yeah.
So Lucci or Lucho? I get
Lucho.
I get those confused with Lucci and Lucho.
No, Gucci Lucci is in San Jose, my guy.
Yeah, that again, I get them confused quite a bit. But again, I thought those were dope. But I think Reynoso is going to be the guy, and I think Reynoso is going to be the guy you got to keep out for. But I'm also excited to see Hassani Dotson and see if the Rapids can do a little scouting to maybe bring him in and be your 6, which I doubt because they don't like good moves.
I like
Don't get too excited because
All
they
right.
don't like good moves. Just so you know. But
if you're looking to the Burgundy side of this equation, we obviously know. And then you have to throw in Lod in there, obviously. And
Lod is dope.
He's sick. Look, Minnesota's a good team. I think I kind of underrated him going into the season, and they have a lot of pieces that you like. I don't know if they fully put it together in the way you want to see, but that's a team that, would you be surprised if they won a playoff game or two? No, I wouldn't be. No. They just have the pieces enough to break a game, right?
Sure.
I don't know if I would bet on it, but I wouldn't be surprised. You turn to the Rapids in this game. We saw the Navarro debut. We saw the Tavares debut. We saw Rubio. It's not a debut, but
the comeback.
But in a way, it was a debut. I mean, it's you can feel that he's healthy. You can see that he's making an impact out there. What do you want to see? Well, there's 3 guys there. Let's maybe each take one. Duane, you can choose whoever you want. Rubio, Navarro, Tavares, and what do you want to see from them in this game?
Oh.
Diego Rubio.
I'll take Rubio. Yeah, anyone. Yeah. Rubio. I mean, I don't know that I'd want to see anything different from him. I think he's the leader on the pitch. I think when he's on the pitch, there's a sense of urgency and what I would call soccer anger, that I think is frightful. And that's one of the reasons why I love Diego Rubio. So, I mean, all I need from Rubio is for Rubio to be Rubio. And he will pull the trigger and take that outside shot, which a lot, we've seen this season. We don't know what to do with the ball when we get close to the box or in the box. And Diego doesn't care. He's angry to get that ball in the net. And he will take that shot. But I also think that he does, a great job of distributing the ball. And I think he can get that ball up to Navajo and make that happen. So those things happen. I think that's what you want from Diego Rubio in this game.
I want to see Rafa hold up, dump off to just a rocket off of Rubio's foot.
Sorry, taking Navarro. I kind of wanted Tavares.
Go. Okay,
I want Tavares. You can take Navarro.
Navarro, keep doing what you're doing, man. I loved what I saw from him. That hold-up play, being able to distribute out of that hold-up play. There's a lot of guys who can come in and play hold-up. There's not a lot of guys that are good at distributing out of hold-up, right? Because you have one guy on your back. You probably have at least one, if not 2, coming into your feet to get that ball away from you. And he was laying it off to Keegan on the far side of the play, right? The play would come up the left, get to him in the middle. Keegan would be open on the right. I want to see that both directions. And obviously, I'd love to see a goal. Don't get me wrong. I'd love to see him get that hold-up play, turn and launch one. But I think if he just keeps playing that style of game, goals will come to him, right? Like Jamie Tart, play through him, not just to him, right? Because he's very clearly talented at that hold-up play and getting balls to the rest of his teammates. The goals will come. I liked what I saw. Keep doing that.
Super high comp. That's not really comparable, but he reminds me a little bit like how Harry Kane, the style of play that Harry Kane is, which is like a false 9, but like a hold up false 9, which is so weird.
It's such a specific thing.
Yeah, and again, he's not Harry Kane. Nobody's Harry
Kane.
Like I don't like him, but like I can tell he's talented and he's good. So like that's what the one thing about Navarro. He kind of has that skill set.
Sure.
Not polished, not good enough, but he has that same kind of style of play. I mean, it's true. Like, Harry Kane's a top 2 striker in the world? To me, Tavares, what I want to see for him, I want to see crisper passes. Okay. I want to see him play as a 6. They brought him in to play anywhere in that midfield, put him down below, let Ronan be your 10, and bring in another 8. Maybe
let Cole Bassett cook, man.
No, don't let Cole Bassett cook. Put Rubio as your 10, put Ronan as your 8, and put Tavares as your 6. He's tall. Put in a tackle. I want his effort level to increase.
He's big.
Yeah. One thing that people criticized a lot, which I agree with, was his effort level. He wasn't putting in the tackles. He was kind of lazy with the passes. I think I want him to see more focused. I want to see him to be ready and not think there's going to be a cakewalk just because he played in Europe. The MLS is no joke. It's a good league, and you have to be ready to play. And hopefully he learned his lesson after yesterday's game. And that's all I want to see from effort.
I did he did earn a couple free kicks. But you can't go down every time. Can't go down every single time.
No.
And he did. So, less of that. Predictions as we end every game before. As we end every show before a game. There it is. I think. Did I say that right? Now the words don't mean anything. They're just sounds.
Soulless eyes. Just like, I don't want to do this anymore.
We broke Duane. Well, we get a week off, baby.
I'm not going first. I always have to go first.
I'll go first. It's fine. 3-1. And I think Navarro scores, but I think Reynoso just has a hat trick on us.
Man, that's a really good one. I want to see a Pookie goal so bad because I love him, but I don't want to see it against the Rapids.
It's going to happen.
Look, I have said all year there's going to be a random game where you don't think there's a chance the Rapids win, right? And they're going to put on 4 goals on somebody, and you're going to be like, what the hell just happened? And they'll go back to being miserable a week later.
Is this the one for you?
No, it's not. They're going to lose 2-0. Pookie brace.
I'm going 3-0.
Oh!
That's the smart way.
Yeah.
Oh!
I keep predicting goals. Like I stopped predicting goals for the Rapids with this one coming out of the break, and then they didn't score goals. So I have to go back to my old thing of I can't predict goals until they show me they can score goals. So I think it's 3-0. As always, I hope that I'm wrong.
I hope I'm right.
Nothing would make me happier than to be wrong about my predictions.
I like being right.
Yeah, me too. At this point, there's no reason to be right.
I like the Rapids to win.
Yeah, me too.
I like the Rapids to win over both of you being right.
There's nothing good to them winning at this point. It's all misery.
All right, Duane, I do need you to go first on this. Plug us out of here, my guy.
As Mitch just said a few minutes ago, so I'll keep it short and sweet. Get in there, give us a little like if you haven't done that already. Hop on to the little 5 stars and give us a little positive review action. And hit us up on Twitter. Let us know what you like. You know where we are on Twitter already at DNVR_Rapids. Or you can find us individually as well. Boom.
Yeah.
DNVR_Rapids. Always follow us there. 5-star review wherever you hear us. Whether that be Spotify. I know, but I say it because it's just part of my little speech now. See, now interrupted me. Apple, Spotify, all of that really helps us out. Please follow us. We're going to be still covering the Rapids. How I said, I'm coming up with games for these guys on Twitter. We're going to have cool topics coming up as well. And if anything you guys want to really talk about, don't let us know. We're sad. We're really sad. But interact with us on Twitter. We really appreciate that.
Yeah. Look, talking ball is fun, right? Even when the team is bad, I still want to talk ball. It's better than talking, what am I going to talk about, the Republican presidential debate? No, thank you. I want to talk ball, always. So talk with us, ball. Become a diehard member at DNVR.com. You get all sorts of cool stuff. I've said it every time, but I'll say it again. Merch discounts, bar discounts, free merch, tickets, cool packages to do fun stuff like when we had that party with all the Avs here. That was members only.
That was cool.
Yeah.
You got to hang out with Peter Forsberg.
Oh, he's so strong.
In the bar.
He almost broke a door.
So
Dude, he almost broke a door. I was
That's
like,
cool as hell. No, that was Adam Foote.
Yeah, that was Adam Foote, actually.
Yeah.
Dude, it was insane.
Different Avs legend.
He just rammed through a door. I was like,
that
how?
only happens if you're a member to come and hang out with us and cool people like that. So do that. Like and subscribe on YouTube.
Oh, hey, I know something that we forgot. You can come to DNVR bar for lunch now.
Oh! Good one, Duane.
That's it.
New Buffs gear dropped in the locker. If you love Colorado and hate Nebraska as much as I do, buy some gear and wear it against Nebraska coming up. There's also, we got some Broncos gear maybe on the way. Who knows? Who can say? Obviously, get your Nugs championship gear. Basically, put me to work. Put me and Riley to work. We got stuff to do down in the merch cave. More important than all that, and even when it's bad, baby, same thing as always. Up the pits.